interesting Leela of Krishna, which is chapter 16 of Krishna book about subduing Kaliya. The picture which you are able to see here is like this is a 15th century picture which is right now preserved in Harvard University Museum, which is a 15th century Bhagavad page which was there, and it broadly depicts various phases of this Leela in this single picture. If you see, you will find Krishna at multiple places, and you will find Kaliya also at multiple places, but we will go in detail. But just to share that this Leela is world famous, there are museums in Australia as well as in various museums in England as well as in US who have various pictures as well as artifacts related to this Leela taken away from India when we were not as powerful as we are today. So with this, let's jump into this. So as you all know, Vrindavan has Yamuna river passing nearby, and Yamuna near Vrindavan had a great lake. In the lake, after some time, a large black serpent started living there. And as like many poisonous serpents, he was very big. He had 100 heads and lot many wives and kids and all. So he was very poisonous. Because of that, the entire area started getting contaminated from the poison which he carried. And it's like the breath which he was emanating, his breathing itself was poisoning the river further and the area surrounded by. So it is said that even when birds used to fly over that lake, they used to drop immediately and die. Because of that effect, entire area, the grass, trees and all were getting contaminated, they dried up. And when Lord Krishna saw this effect, he thought that he has to do something about this. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for all the cows and gopis and gopas. So that's where this premise of this story starts. And that's where Krishna thought that he has to do something. And one day Krishna, along with some of his friends, went there, and he thought that he has to take care of this problem. So he jumped on a tree. And interestingly about this tree, which it is mentioned, this tree is called Kadamba tree, which you can see in this picture, where if you see here, Krishna is on the tree taking a dive into the Yamuna river. So this tree is normally found only in Vrindavan. It has round yellow flowers and is very famous. So only this tree was standing there. It is said that because Krishna's Leela, because Krishna has to come and take a jump from this, so only this tree was living there. Rest all vegetation was dried up because of the poison. So when Krishna went there on top of that tree and jumped into the river, the lake which was formed in middle of the river, and started going towards the serpent Kaliya. So Kaliya saw that Krishna is coming, so he came near to Krishna, and at the start of it, he was also amazed by the beauty of Lord Krishna. He could see that Krishna's color is like a cloud, his feet resembles lotus flowers. He was decorated with Srivatsa jewels and yellow garments. So it's like you can see that a serpent or a creature which was poisoning entire lake was also getting amazed by the beauty and the aura of Krishna. And while Kaliya was looking at this, some of the friends who were at the bank, they were very agitated. They thought that what is happening and what will happen to Krishna now. And as Kaliya came close to Krishna, lot of ill omens started manifesting. So the earth trembled, the meteors started falling from the sky. A lot of these things which were showing like something bad is happening started happening there. And when some of friends went to Nand Baba's house and they shared to Yashoda Maiya and all that Krishna had jumped into the lake and Kaliya is very close to Krishna. So they all got agitated. They ran towards the lake and when Yashoda Maiya reached there, she was also very agitated. And initially, Kaliya just gripped and coiled Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna initially did nothing. But when Yashoda Maiya came and she saw this entire um, thing happening, she got very agitated. She tried that I will jump in the lake and I'll do something. Then Krishna thought that this is the time when he need to start his Leela. So he began to expand his body, and when the serpent tried to hold him, he couldn't, right? As you can imagine, Lord Krishna started expanding. So Kaliya felt a lot of strain, his coil slackened, and he had no alternative but to let loose the personality of a Godhead, Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna quickly came out of that grip and directly jumped on Kaliya's head. And it is said that he had many heads, up to 100. And Krishna started dancing on it. It's like dancing and with the same dance movement, pushing and punishing Kaliya as well. It's like, and initially, Kaliya was trying to uh, emit poisonous breath to see that if he can bite or attack or do few things for Lord Krishna, but he couldn't. And after some time, he started vomiting blood, and his situation deteriorated. His fighting spirit started losing grip, and he realized that Krishna is really a Lord, and it's end for him. At this situation, the wives of Kaliya, which were called Nagpatnis, they realized that now their husband's life is in danger, so they have to do something. And they quickly came out and they started praying to Lord Krishna. And it's very famous and very deep meaning prayers, which they said it starts like that. They said that you are equal to everyone, Lord Krishna. For you, there is no distinction between your sons, friends, or enemies. And therefore, whatever punishment you are given to Kaliya by jumping on his head and then making him like very, very weak, is exactly befitting, exactly what he deserved. So you have descended especially for the purpose of annihilating all kind of disturbing elements within the world. And because you are the absolute truth, so there is no difference between your mercy and your punishment. So, which was very deep, and that's where Krishna listened to the Nagpatnis. And then at the same time, Nagpatni said that while Kaliya became the serpent, so we are sure that he did some wrong things in his past life. But at the same time, Kaliya must have done some good deeds as well, because of which he got this opportunity that the Lord himself came and touched him and did dance on his head. So definitely he did some good deeds as well. But now, because is there a question? Okay. So then the Nagpatnis continued that now because he has learned his mistake, so we request your mercy. And if you can forgive, that would be an ideal outcome for all of us. We came here because we were afraid. We were living close to ocean, but we were afraid of Garuda. And as you know, Garuda is the Vahana of Lord Vishnu. And so Nagpatni said that because we were afraid of him, so we came here. So Lord Krishna said that, okay, I am forgiving Kaliya now, but you have to leave Yamuna, you have to go back to ocean. And because now my feet are marked at Kaliya's head, so Garuda or any other uh, uh, being will not disturb you. You can live peacefully there. And at the same time, Krishna also said that um, because of this all Leela, if anyone takes bath in this lake, which was afterward called Kaliya Lake, they will have no fear of snakes and all their sins will be washed here. With this, um, there were all poison and all gone. Kaliya and his family went to ocean, and all the gopis and gopas were able to herd their cows near that lake, and the vegetation also came back. So this is a small story. I have a quiz as well. I have 3 questions, and let's see who all can answer. So first question is, what was the name of the tree from which Krishna jumped into Yamuna?
Tamba tree.
Can you come again?
Kadamba tree.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So the second question is, what Kaliya's wives were known as what?
Nagapatnis.
Very good.
Nagapatni.
Right, correct. Okay, then last question is, where did Kaliya go after all this Leela?
Ocean. Pacific Ocean.
Very good.
Ocean.
Very good. Very good. So now, very good, correct. So now, will any one of you would like to share what did you learn from this Leela of Lord Krishna? Just like any other story we hear, normally there is a moral of story, right? So what did you learn? And it would be different for many of you, but anyone can share. Kiara raised hand.
Prabhuji, what I learned from this is if we do any sinful activities, giving in to Lord Krishna and praying to him and offering penances and all to Lord Krishna, we can be free of all the sin.
Very good, very good. Anyone else want to share what did they learn?
The ocean is looks black. That is not make it black. Anything become black.
Became black because of that.
Nice. Anyone else want to share anything? One thing which when I was going through this, which I learned is that just like Lord Krishna, whenever we get power, we should be strong, but at the same time, we should be merciful. So if someone is doing a mistake, we have to make sure that he deserves what he get. But when he realizes that, and if he asks for it, we should be merciful as well, just like Lord Krishna. Any other comments, questions, feedback? I'm in presentation mode, so I cannot see who all are raising hands, but if anyone want to say anything, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Sure.
Kaliya was having more than one head, right?
Yes.
How many heads did he have?
So the story says that he had about 100 heads. And like here you see in this picture, which I shared earlier, if I go back, where is it? Yeah. So there are different versions. This Bhagavad is of almost 500 years old. It doesn't show 100. There was another picture in an Australian museum which was showing around 100 or so. It's like very different kind of Kaliya picture, but exactly we don't know, but it's believed to be 100.
And how many heads did the Naga Patni have?
That's a good question. I'll have to do more research on that. But here, if you see, it shows only one. Uh, these are the Nagapatnis. They are shown only one head.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, if there are
Yeah.
multiple heads for Kaliya, then is it the same snake or are they different snakes?
So many snakes which have double heads, ultimately their body is one. Even if you see in our other scriptures, when we read the description of Sheshnag, Sheshnag has multiple heads but single body. Same with Kaliya. And still, even in villages, I have personally seen a snake which had two heads but a single body.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have one more question.
Sure.
If Sheshnag also was having more than one heads around 100, and Kaliya also, was it that Kaliya was a snake demon and Sheshnag was a snake god?
So Kaliya was definitely a demonic snake, right? But and Sheshnag is definitely he is the asana of Lord Vishnu, so he's definitely a godly, demigodly and snake, no doubt about that.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
did Kamsa assign Kaliya to go to Yamuna river?
No. So Kansa didn't assign Kaliya. Kaliya came in because he was scared of Garuda. He used to live near ocean, and then he came back in, inward to within Yamuna, fearing his life from Garuda. And interestingly, if you see many asuras who were assigned by Kansa, they went to Lord Krishna and attacked. But here, and that's why Lord Krishna forgiven Kaliya as well, because Kaliya didn't went out and attacked Lord Krishna or anyone else. Only thing is that by his normal living, he was polluting the lake so that no other creature was supposed to survive.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Sure.
After Kaliya left the Yamuna river, he went to an ocean, but what was the name of the ocean?
That I don't know, though I believe that if you see Yamuna ultimately goes to Bay of Bengal, right? And which ultimately merged to Indian Ocean. So if Kaliya goes to ocean by following Yamuna, which would be the normal waterway, then ultimately it will be in the Bay of Bengal and then Indian Ocean. But it is not specifically written in the scripture.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other comment, questions, anyone? Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you everyone for joining, and we look forward to host you again tomorrow for the next session of this series.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, go ahead.
If were the Nagapatni also demonesses?
From their actions, it appears that they didn't do any demonic thing, and they look like they understood Lord's mercy, at the same time Lord's Leela as well. So what is written about them, it doesn't show that they were of demonic nature. The scripture also doesn't talk that whether if they were poisonous or if they were also polluting. So I am not sure about that.
Okay.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you once again, and we all will see you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.